The old school arcade games continue to be released on the Nintendo Switch, with Data East's 1992 run and gun Nitro Ball the latest entry. Does this one hold up? We'll soon see. I'm Glen, welcome to SwitchUp. Thank you to Flying Tiger for this review copy. Now let's get on with the review. In terms of its gameplay, Nitro Ball seems to merge the traditional vertical shooting run and gun style seen in games such as Ikari Warriors at that time with elements from games such as Robotron or Smash TV, in that you have an area full of enemies to clear. It never gets quite as hectic as Smash TV, and these aren't waves of enemies that you are clearing per se, but it does also seem to borrow elements from the setting of Smash TV, which in turn took its inspiration from the 1987 movie The Running Man, which was of course based on a 1982 novel written by Stephen King but released under a pseudonym. That setting being one of you participating in a deadly TV show, trying to earn prizes and of course points. Back in the late 80s and early 90s video games, if you weren't rescuing a damsel in distress or trying to rid a city of a crime lord, then you were probably trying to get rich and win household appliances.
I don't know. We're living in a material world and I am a material girl. Or boy.
On top of this, there is the pinball mechanic. Each stage is constructed like a life-sized pinball machine, complete with bumpers, etc., and you can knock enemies into these to earn more points. The pinball element comes into play a few times, with certain sections charging you with rolling enemies up each of the lanes, or you yourself becoming a ball for a limited time to kill enemies and rack up some points. Otherwise you will be using your blaster to kill enemies, with around 4 other weapons being available to use should you find one in a stage. As well as your normal weapons, you also have a limited amount of screen clearing super weapons you can use too. At the end of each stage there is a boss to defeat, and a bonus stage can be earned by completing a challenge within each level. The game is tough. It's an arcade game, let's not forget, but you can invite 2 friends along for the ride with 3-player co-op. The game instantly becomes more fun in multiplayer, as although you are working together, most friends find a way to make even co-op games more competitive, and you will be trying to outscore your friends, no doubt. As with all of the Johnny Turbo series, you have unlimited continues. Gameplay gets 16 out of 20. Graphically, the game is nice and varied. There are 5 levels, each with a different theme, ranging from an American football pitch to a ghost town, and as already mentioned, these are meant to be life-sized pinball tables. This comes right down to the stage clear screen resembling the top half of a pinball table, complete with match the number minigame. The enemies are also quite varied, with a few different character sprites on each stage, and a few nods to popular culture from the time, such as these blue slimers, xenomorphs, endoskeletons, and even the taxi from Who Framed Roger Rabbit shows up at one point. There can be quite a few characters as well as projectiles on screen at once, and I'm happy to report that I experienced no slowdown during these times. There's also some variety in the boss characters, which range from a ninja star wielding skeleton to the Prince of Darkness himself, Dracula. The game does a good job of mixing futuristic dystopia with the outlandish and zany, and it receives 14 out of 20. Audio serves one purpose in Nitro Ball, and that is to keep your adrenaline pumping while you play. It does this for the most part by being extraordinarily loud and bombastic. It is music that is typical of its era, and it also includes some digitised speech, which is of a decent standard most of the time, albeit a little muffled in places. Audio receives 12 out of 20. The controls in Nitro Ball are extremely simple. The left stick covers 360 degree movement, with A being the shoot button and B being your special weapon. The R button adds more credits should you wish to, and the L button starts the game. As you may see from the footage, being a vertical run and gun, there is a lot of spare space at the edge of the screen. Now the game does give you the option of playing in a vertical mode whilst in handheld, unless you want to turn your telly on its side as well of course, but it does not reconfigure the controls to play this way, at least not that I could find anyway. This is a shame as it makes this option pretty much redundant. Controls receive 16 out of 20. Nitro Ball costs $7.99 in the US, and as with most of these Johnny Turbo arcade games, has not been released in Europe yet, unfortunately. It will take you around 45 minutes to beat with a single player and less with friends, although that estimation is with no restrictions on credits. Were you to restrict yourself to a limited number, then this is one tough game that will take you a little while longer to get through. These type of games are perfect for split Joy-Con play whilst waiting at an airport or something like that, and for me this will join games on my Switch like Shock Troopers, Sly Spy and Double Dragon that I return to constantly. With a couple of like-minded friends, this is great fun, and value receives 15 out of 20. To conclude, the Switch has itself another fun arcade title to add to its ranks, and this retro gamer is extremely happy for it. I know many are disgruntled with the way that Nintendo is handling its virtual console this generation, but in terms of arcade hits at least, it's never been more alive. What I love most about these games is that they are such a delightful slice of 1980s nostalgia that really do not take themselves too seriously, and Nitro Ball receives a SwitchUp score of 73%. Thanks as always everybody for watching. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, notifications, all that caper if you haven't done so already. I'm still battling with losing my voice, so apologies if that comes across in the video. And you know what I'm going to say by now. As always, happy gaming.